Wait, what? Martha Stewart started her career at 50 years old? No way. I was under the impression that Martha Stewart had always been a homemaker. Martha Stewart had always been cooking, cleaning, being a homemaker for her family, and that is how she started her career. But that was furthest from the truth. Today we are talking about, is 36 years old too old to start a YouTube channel? This question has been sitting in the back of my brain for quite some time. Well, since I started this channel about a year ago, and so let's talk about it. I am 36 years old. I used to be a nurse, and I'm here starting a YouTube channel. And if I'm honest, there's days that I ask myself, am I too late? Shouldn't I have done this years ago? So let me answer the question right away. No, I'm not too late. 36 is not too old to start a YouTube channel. And in this video, I want to let you know why I now believe that. Because for a very long time, I believed that I was too old to start over. Trying something new as an adult is so uncomfortable. Not because you're bad at it, but because people already know you for a certain thing. For me, it was nursing. I've been nursing for 13, 14 years now, and a lot of the times that's what other people's expectation of me is. So trying is kind of a public admission of, I'm not good at this yet, but I want to be. And sometimes it's a little cringy when I think about my YouTube channel and family and friends seeing it. And as adults, and especially moms, we are expected to already know who we are, be settled in our life, and to be confident in who we are. But that's not always the truth. And I know that to be true because I wish that somebody would have told me when I was younger that it is okay to be a stay-at-home mom, that it's okay to work from home or to settle for a different lifestyle. And because of me being a nurse, it was expected that I go to work and I grind and hustle and do what needed to be done. For a long time, I felt safer in the identity of what other people understood of me. I was a nurse, so that made sense. That sounded like the responsible thing to do. Starting something creative and a little bit more fun, and also very publicly, was a little embarrassing. But here's what I'm learning. Everything that we want to do, if we're willing to grow, sits on the other side of being inexperienced. When I started nursing, I was inexperienced and I had to learn and find jobs that allowed me to learn as I grew. And I would not have grown into the nurse that I am today or was if I didn't have those opportunities to grow. And that is the same thing with starting over now and starting a YouTube channel. I am learning all of the different things that go into a YouTube channel and owning my own business. Although I have owned a business since 2019, I have pivoted so many times, and now I have finally figured out where my place is and how I want to help. Because I was that mom looking for ways to make an income online without having to sacrifice my presence as a mom or sacrifice my time with my family. So in the process of being willing to be inexperienced, you're not going to skip the awkward phase. You're not going to skip the newness or the newbie part of this process. You're going to earn confidence by the way that you show up. And I'm learning that too, because my videos, I'm sure you can go back into some of my older videos or even my social media accounts and notice that I'm not as comfortable on camera talking with you guys, but it is getting better as the year has progressed. I am able to sit here and talk to you just like a friend. So in also like this whole Is it too late for me to start a YouTube channel at 36? I hear this a lot from women, and it's not just like, oh, is it too late to start a YouTube channel, as much as is it too late to start over? And I hear so many women say the same exact thing, and it's, I feel behind. They feel behind in motherhood. They feel behind in where they think that their job or career or being a stay-at-home mom, not cooking sourdough, or not, whatever the case might be, not being Betty Crocker, right? They think that they're behind people who started earlier or people that started when they were younger, but that's not always the truth, right? And I have to say this to myself all the time. I'm 36, I'm starting something new, and I always catch myself saying, shouldn't I have started this years ago? I started my business, my online business in 2019. Why did I not start my YouTube channel in 2019? Why did I not start TikTok in 2020 when everybody else started TikTok? But the idea that I should already have it figured out, or that there's a correct age to start, is something that we absorb from outside and not something that is coming from us or that is even true. It's not true. And that is one of the things that has changed for me by learning that I'm not behind. It's okay to start where I'm at. Things happen and we grow as people and we change as people throughout the years. So in doing that, I'm continuing to grow and show my children what growth looks like. And the thing that made me kind of shift my thinking recently was I was actually watching somebody else's YouTube, and a commercial came through, and it was Martha Stewart, and she was like, I started my business at 50 years old. I paused the ad and was like, wait, what? Martha Stewart started her career at 50 years old? No way. I was under the impression that Martha Stewart had always been a homemaker. Martha Stewart had always been cooking, cleaning, being a homemaker for her family, and that is how she started her career. But that was furthest from the truth. Before she started her career in homemaking and baking and all of these other ventures and starting brand and like having a brand of her own, she was a stockbroker on Wall Street. She did some modeling gigs. She did a little bit of catering. Nothing that said, I'm a homemaker and I'm going to make millions off of this. That realization stopped me dead in my tracks. I laugh because this is kind of embarrassing, but I literally stopped in my tracks. I was listening to a podcast, a video podcast on YouTube, and I don't know, my ADHD, whatever it may be, all of that podcast went out the window, and I searched up, how old is Martha Stewart? When did she start her business? Why did she start her business? What did she do before? How did she end up in jail? And to know that she went to jail for insider trading or whatever she went, that was kind of like the gist of what she went to jail for. I never knew that she had a prior knowledge of Wall Street or being a stockbroker. I thought that she got some insider tips or something because she was wealthy and well known. And it's just funny that I mean, I'm 36 years old and Martha Stewart started her business in 1990. So I guess I could understand how that's what I always thought that she was, because I was born right around that time. And so why would I know anything different? But to like find this out and find out within my identity that I was struggling with starting this YouTube channel later in life instead of earlier. And then finding out that Martha Stewart didn't start her business until she was 50 years old. And she is a multi-million-dollar business was absolutely crazy to me. And I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too. So I suddenly understood, like, we don't start late. We don't come from experience always. Every season before this, every job before this, every burnout, every season we've been in, it wasn't wasted. My nursing license was not wasted. It was in preparation for what I'm doing now. I had this quiet moment where I asked myself, what if I'm not too late? What if I couldn't have done this at 25 because the circumstances just weren't right? My patience wasn't there. I didn't know what I know now at 36 years old that I would have known at 25. I know what drains me. I know what I am not willing to sacrifice. And part of that came through trial and error when I was working as a nurse outside of the home. I know that I don't want hustle culture. I don't want chaos in my home. And I definitely don't want something that is going to cost me my peace. Starting now at 36 years old does not make me behind. It makes me intentional. So I kept going back to that question, am I too old? Is 36 years old too old to start a YouTube channel? Or is it that I'm afraid of starting something new that I'm not instantly good at? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the behind the camera scenes of creating a YouTube channel, email marketing, creating a digital product for you guys is a lot of work, and it's challenging when you don't know exactly what you are doing or you don't have a guide telling you exactly what to do. What it comes down to is fear. The fear of judgment from other people, fear of judgment from yourself. I have completely judged myself so many times. It is hard to rewatch videos of mine because I'm constantly judging how I made the video, edited the video. Should I have done that, said that, did this? And so it's not just judgment from others that you're fearing, it is also judgment from yourself, failure. It's fear of failing because I quit my nursing job. A career that gave me a consistent paycheck, a consistent paycheck as long as I showed up and did what I was supposed to do. But now I'm in charge of waking up on my own, getting these videos recorded on my own, making sure that the back end of my business is working for me. And the thought of failing probably scares me so much more than going to a 9-to-5 job. It's also the fear of wasting, like, was this for nothing? But not trying also carries its own cost, and that cost is regret. One of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves is, I'll start when I feel confident. I'll start when I have time. I'll start when the weather is nice out. Whatever you're telling yourself, if you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. There's always going to be another reason, another responsibility. I started this particular stream of income. Like, I started this YouTube channel in the midst of so much going on. And what kept me going was that I didn't want to regret not starting, not continuing. Because what if it got me to my goals? What if it paid off my house? Confidence is not the starting point. Confidence is the result. Eventually, I realized that waiting costed me more than trying ever could. That one's a hard one to swallow. I realized that waiting around to do this was costing me more than trying ever could. There's a phrase that I hear all of the time. I've always thought about doing that. That's the phrase. I've always thought about doing that. And I don't want to live my life thinking about it. I want to do it. I want to be the person who tried, even when it's messy, even if it's slow, and especially if it doesn't look impressive yet, because that's the thing that kind of gets me sometimes, is that I want everything to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Time is going to pass anyway. And if you're waiting for the best time, you're waiting too long. So if you're still wondering if 36 is too old to start a YouTube channel, no, and just no. Sometimes starting later means starting when you're wiser. You're not starting from scratch. You have experience. And I want to say one thing. Wanting income does not mean that you're ungrateful. Wanting flexibility doesn't mean that you're doing motherhood wrong. Wanting options does not mean that you're chasing the wrong things. For me, this season hasn't been about chasing success. It's been about creating breathing room. I didn't want another full-time job. I wanted skills that I could build realistically in real life. If you're curious, I've linked the resource that helped me understand what calm, sustainable income can actually look like. No pressure, just information. And whether you click or not, hear this. You're allowed to start now, you're allowed to try, and you're not behind. Well, friends, that was it for today. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of motivation and know that in whatever season that you are in, starting over, starting something new, pivoting, you are not too late. You are just experienced and you finally know what you want. Until next time, guys, you can check out one of the videos that YouTube recommends that you would like. Bye, guys.